Senior Firefighter Goodwin will have a discussion with Dementia Australia advocate Cathy. Please note this contains discussions of dementia. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, Cathy, to Bathurst Fire Station. Thank you for visiting us today. We are doing Seniors Month for the month of March and Seniors Fire Safety, and part of that obviously is working with people potentially with dementia. So if you could please just give us a little bit of who are you, what's your experience, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you for asking me. I'm happy to give some input into this. Yes, my name's Cathy. I am a wife and a mother and grandmother and a carer, which is another little thing that came along as my husband was ill just on 4 years ago that we started this journey. And it wasn't dementia, but it was another illness that he had to start with. That the treatment for that has resulted in a brain injury, which has resulted in dementia.
Okay.
So we've had an unwell man for 4 years, and I was the carer at home for 3.
Okay.
He is now in residential aged care, which is difficult in lots of other ways, but I do know he's getting the best care he needs.
Sure.
Now, with a dementia patient and all these things that happen before you know what's happening to them, you just notice all this strange behaviour. And I've thought about this with fires because knowing Luca, and I'm thinking now if there was a fire, Leo would not know what that noise was, or if he did, the ringing would probably have driven him mad because he hates any loud noises.
Yeah.
And then if I was to say we have to hurry to get out, he wouldn't have hurried. He was not able to always get up and go. And that's where all these problems start to play in your mind. How would I get you out? And if someone was to come in a fire uniform and your helmets and all the shebang, well, that would just freak him out.
Terrifying, yeah.
So all these things become obstacles to help the person.
Yeah.
So it's understanding why they're resistant to your help, which a lot of people don't think. They just think, oh, they're being, nuisance. They're just resisting me, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're totally in fear factor.
Of course.
And they just freeze.
Yeah.
So you're not to know that, but you have to always have that empathy when you go into any situation, just in case.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know. If you were to go to a home with fire, you don't really know what's going to go in that home.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what often worries me is that people just don't have that education and knowledge about people. Dementia covers, there's 150 types of dementia and they're all different, and everybody's the way which stages they're at, or blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Some can walk, some can't, some can't talk, it just goes on and on.
Yeah.
But it's the steps that they have to take you've got to get them safe.
100%.
How are you going to do it?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where your understanding of why they're resisting you, I think, helps.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, if there's somebody with them that can say, look, my husband, he can't, respond to you, or he'll be frightened here. It's that gentle approach that you have to have. And I've seen that with my husband in other situations where we've needed emergency carers. The ones that can be gentle with him and just convince him that this is okay, we've got you, we'll help you. They get further than the ones that come in, come on,
trying to rush
doesn't
them.
work.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you don't understand what they're seeing even. You might be trying to get them up a corridor. There may be wallpaper. They might think they're in a jail or something, or they think the wallpaper's bars, or they could be thinking there's a carpet wherever you're going that might have marks all over it. They could think there's cockroaches or ants all over the floor. Or the other thing is where they stop is because they see a mark on the carpet and they might think that's a hole. So I'm not going to go because I'll fall. Yeah. You don't know. You know it's not, but they don't. But you're not even thinking that might be that.
Yeah.
And that's where any help you can get in your education as first responders.
Of course.
I did a virtual headset with Dementia Australia, and it just, even though I'd been caring for my husband, all these things that were bothering him became so, oh my God, now I know.
So clear to you.
Because you put them on and you walk in their world.
And so that sort of sets a scene as if you were someone with dementia.
And it's just horrifying. And I think if that's the biggest wake-up call, people who care or have any reason why you might be dealing with a person when you go to respond might be the best thing to do, is to get more awareness yourselves.
100%.
I would do push that.
Yeah.
That means, you'd get some help from Dementia Australia on this, and that's where that all comes from.
Yep.
But it's just that they're frightened.
Yeah.
And they don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Because once there's something quick happens, they go into a shock.
Sure, like it's a fight or flight kind of thing.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, okay.
They can have days when they're not as bad as that. That's an extreme day when but you don't know that.
Yeah.
But I do know, and I think it's pretty common with most people that suffer from dementia is that once you move them out of their normal surroundings, they become very disorientated.
Sure.
And that's where the confusion.
Yes.
Confusion's a shocker because then they will... And they say, well, who are you to tell me what to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I see that with my husband with his carers.
Yeah.
It depends how they approach him, even to ask him to hop out of bed and come out and have a meal.
Yeah.
Or have a shower. Don't think you'll tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And who are you? Because he doesn't recognise them.
Yeah, of course.
And that's where uniforms help sometimes.
Okay.
I do believe, like if you had your uniforms on and he can see that's a fireman.
Yeah.
Because they might associate something that you've got on with
Yeah.
a fireman.
Yeah.
That's where Luca formed a very special relationship with my husband, because Leo used to be in the Rural Fire Brigade at Burrabuddy.
Yeah.
And I told Luca that, and that was the best thing I think I ever told you. He used to go in and talk to Leo, and he could talk about all the things he did.
So because it was familiar to him as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Luca was, able to lead him along with little things he could say, and Leo would come with him, and they'd have lovely conversations. Yeah. And I used to often think, now why is Luca able to just talk like that? He who was new to the family.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get battled with people who know my husband a lot better.
Yeah.
I said, because you haven't found a common ground to talk. Because their memory is better in the past.
Yeah, yes.
Current, not so well.
No good, yeah.
Depending, but not so good.
Yeah.
But past, yes, they can. He, in fact, I could often say to Leo, you can tell people that story. He might just remember the dates better.
Yeah.
I haven't got time for that. I'm battling with the present.
Yeah.
The past is there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to live now.
Yeah.
You're living back then.
Yeah.
So that's, it's a bit of a funny thing.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
What do you think, say if we pull up to a house fire, we go in, there's reports of somebody in there, that person has dementia, say that they're in there on their own, there's no carer or anything, what do you think would be your main tips for us approaching that person to get them out as quick and safe as possible?
I think calmness. That's hard to say with the fire, because your time's always, you factor with a fire.
Yeah. Gentle.
But it's your gentle approach. And I know even when there are any situations in life, the calmer people are better.
Yeah.
The ones that are a bit gung-ho don't always get the best results.
Of course.
Seen that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Told you some funny stories about that.
Yeah.
But no, you've got to have a level head, and you've got to realise that this person we will have to manage here.
Yes.
In a different way.
Yeah.
Now, how that would be different with each person.
Of course.
But I do believe caring and showing that you're caring about them.
Of course.
You can do that and say,
course.
g'day, mate. Well, and also you've got different multicultural people here in Australia now. You have to be very careful how you approach. Some of them wouldn't want you to touch them.
Yeah. There's
There's all these things now, but it's the showing that you care.
Yeah.
And I think that comes through with your voice, your smiles. If you had to pick them up off the floor, it's still that introducing yourself, because I think it's just that initial contact. Once you run in and come on, that's it.
Yeah.
If they're to that stage. It depends where they are in their dementia journey.
Of course.
But really, I think it's just that confrontation that I don't know who you are and I'm not going to cooperate yet because I'll have to sort you out yet. And that may take time.
Yeah. Another perspective that we want to look at this is if people are caring for dementia patients at home, or whether they know they've got dementia or not, what are some tools or tricks that they can implement in their home to keep them safe around fire safety? So for example, candles, cooking, any things like that, what do you think are some of the tools and tricks that people can do to keep them safe at home?
Well, a lot of people I'm finding don't have anybody around them at all. That's what disturbs me. And a lot of people who do have packages don't always have meals. They try to cook their own meals. I think horrified because you fear about burning and but there are things you can get now for people to reduce all these risks, but it's understanding that they're there.
Yeah.
I just think the general population don't know what's there to help.
So access to resources.
Educate yourselves more. But then again, some people won't have acknowledged there is an issue with the person. So I might think, that person's definitely not coping well, but they'll say they are and they resist your help. You have to respect that. Where do you go with this? I get this a lot. I go to carers meeting I facilitate, and that's what upsets me. I know we could help, suggest some people go to other places for help, but they won't go.
They don't want it.
No. I think in the rural areas, people are used to looking after themselves. Country people are very resilient.
Yeah, of course.
And that's how
they're independent.
They had to live like that. They didn't have a person down the road to go and help. I see my generation, we are like that too. We didn't have access to things couldn't go and read like on the internet about things. You just cared for your person. And I think that's the hardest thing is to, in the ideal world I would have my husband at home. But the physicality of his care I couldn't do on my own.
Of course.
But if you lived in I know I've just met a little lady at the moment at the bus stop with my grandson, and she's from the Philippines, and she said, why is your husband not at home then? I said, because I can't physically do what he needs now.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Philippines, we have them at home. We just have people. I said, well, we just don't have people.
Yeah.
That's
Different community.
It's not that we don't care.
Yeah.
But, that's just how it is. It's different now. And,
yeah.
I even know with my husband, they were saying like the people with dementia, they do better with people around them, like family.
Okay.
Whereas some people, which he's very, we're blessed, we've got all our family. My other people in his ward, I don't ever see any people visit them.
Yeah.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And as I said, mentioned about me wearing a bright dress. Yeah. I wear bright clothes all the time now because I'm out there most other days, and they all, look at your dress today. You've got earring. And if that makes them happy, so be it.
Yeah,
that's a small thing I can do each day.
Yeah,
and I think that's
wonderful.
It just goes to show they do notice. Some of them don't speak to you or they can't speak, but their eyes tell me.
Yeah,
and I think that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Other things to keep them at home safe.
Yeah, so say if they're at home, like what are some tools and tricks that you found in the early stages perhaps?
Well, removing hazards in the home, I got rid of all the mats. Particularly if they're not a good walker. Well, actually, as you age, your balance and all that should be looked at anyway.
Yeah.
Exercise, if they can, because it'll help keep them safer and also more stable.
Yeah,
Falls are a notorious thing.
Stability, for
sure. If they fall down and they can't get up, and they can't ring for help or anything, like I don't know what they do. I've had a couple of falls with Leo at home, and thankfully he wanted to walk around the backyard one day, which I thought, okay, we'll have to go up this. I think he had the walking stick, but anyway, whatever happened, he put the stick down on an uneven surface and he fell, and luckily my neighbour, thank God, he must have heard us coming up the side of the house, and I must have yelled out as I probably would have.
Yeah.
And he just jumped the fence, was over there.
Oh, quick snap.
And so I think, Leo had a phone on him that would alert if he fell down.
Okay, yeah.
So that's another thing. So there were so many devices, but also you may not be able to afford them.
Yeah.
This is where you need to get registered with My Aged Care and do all these things that help as we age. If you and see what there's out there to help you.
So accessing resources.
But you have to access that. You have to put yourself out there and let them know you need help.
Yeah. The main things around fire safety in the home, so removing hazards.
Well, your fire alarms for sure. You've got to encourage people to have fire alarms. Smoke alarms, sorry.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we talk about it, but I still think there's people that probably don't have them.
I think you're probably right.
I think the older homes, because they weren't in them, and then you've got to get them installed.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing, they can't afford it. Like these basic things that cost money.
And that's us. That's where we can come in, because we can come in and install them absolutely complimentary.
It's not easy. This is a whole another world out there.
Yeah, of course.
And I look at it like this too. I'm happy to speak. This is another reason I became an advocate.
Yeah.
I feel that I have to use this ability I have that I like talking to people to help others.
Yeah, of course. Paying it forward.
I just think I've got to do this. I think about this every day a lot because I think, God, do I say too much? I think, I don't care, Joel. I don't.
It's weird. It's something
because
that
some people don't. Some people they don't talk.
Yeah.
So if I'm helping, all those other families that don't have a voice, well, that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
And so be it. One person might see something I've said here and think, okay, I'll do that.
And then job done.
And there we go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they can tell somebody else down the line. That's how it'll work.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I'm finding that with our little group we have a little carers group that we meet every month, and it's just a nice place where you can go and just say how you feel and nobody judges you.
Yeah.
Because people who don't know the road you're travelling, you don't tell the truth to, and because they make don't carry on like that. That's not what's happening. Yeah. But when you're with other people that are on a similar journey, they understand.
So seeking support. That's
you must have support.
Yeah.
And even if you're a person with dementia wants support, like I didn't have that because my husband probably wouldn't say he had dementia. I don't know what he doesn't go down that road. He's interesting. It's an interesting road even now with him. He doesn't know where he is sometimes. Where is he at night? Oh, he's just down the road, just near me, is he? I said, go on, whatever. You don't argue with them. Never argue, and if you were to go into them, don't ever argue.
Okay.
What you do try to do is divert their thought pattern.
Okay.
Never say they're wrong. Never argue.
Yeah.
It's not going to get you anywhere.
Right.
Because they're not going to budge and their reasoning's not there.
Yeah.
But divert their thought
Their
pattern.
thought pattern, yeah.
So you've just got to be careful how you do it, because usually they won't remember what they've said. But you also don't lie to them.
Yeah.
So it's a very fine line. You have to tell them the truth, but in a way that you just got to be careful.
Yeah, of course.
Because what you can do is you'll tell them a lie to get you out of that situation, and the next person will come in and tell them the truth, and then
that'll confuse them, because then they'll be like, well, what's
going on?
Yeah.
Exactly right. There are some people that are non-verbal. They're in beds, sling bed things and that. But I say to the kids, just say hello, because you can see with their eyes that they are noticing them. They may not be able to speak.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
At least
We talk about that quite a lot within our service and plenty of other emergency services, is when we go to first aid jobs and that sort of thing, just because they can't communicate back to you doesn't mean they cannot hear every single thing that you're saying. And more often than not, it's something that we do when we go to a first aid incident. Even if they might be unconscious, we keep talking to them.
Yes.
And so many occasions, I would say 99% of the time, if they recover from it, they remember.
That's right.
And they remember it all.
You've got to be so careful.
100%, but I think we should just have that approach in everything that we do
I think you just have to treat people as you find, like they are. That's what I'm saying. They're people. They're first and foremost another person.
Yeah, of course.
And do not degrade them to any department of life that you think they should belong to, because they are a
100%.
person.
Yeah. Another question that sort of just came to me is, once again, I suppose, once they're in care, the carers are mostly looking after their safety and fire safety and all that kind of thing. The hazards are removed, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But once again, so if they're back home, perhaps in the early stages, or they're not in care yet, as you say, they listen, right? They're listening. So is something that you could do as a tool or a trick as well is educate them on fire safety, so talk to them about it? Or do you think some of that might sink in if you say, we're not going to cook, or we're not going to light any candles, or I suppose those are going to be hazards that are removed anyway.
Well, that depends.
But maybe just educate on some of those, maybe going through, like, if that alarm does go off, that's what this means.
I do believe
Repetition,
that. I do believe that, because they
Yeah.
bank things in their memory. I will never underestimate what education can do for all of us.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
reinforcing what we know
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, make sure there's a clear exit. Where is your
Yeah.
closest exit?
Yeah.
Which door are you going to go out of?
Yeah. And maybe
And
if you were
go
doing
over-
those things
Yes,
with them
yes,
on a
yes.
daily basis, on a weekly basis, whatever it might be, do you think that is a tool?
I do. Well, look at you do with the
that-
children. You
Yeah.
do that at schools.
Well, this
Get
is
down low
true.
and go.
This is
Well,
true.
this is the same.
It's
same
repetition.
thing.
Yeah.
It's just, but it gets in your head.
Yeah.
You'd have to see, that'd be a very individual thing, because you'd have to
Yeah.
look at houses
Yes.
and see where they live
yeah.
and where's their door. Like
Yeah.
for me, it would have been Leo
Yeah.
would have been getting out of the laundry door, not going to the front door,
Yeah, right.
because that was the closest exterior door.
And it also depends on where the fire is
Exactly right.
and that kind of thing, if that was the scenario. But maybe just even practice saying there's
So
an
the thing
emergency,
is,
let's practice walking
you
out.
could do an assessment of houses where you knew there were people and see what they live in.
Yeah.
Like, are they out the back? Are they out the front? Are they got a stairs? Well, there's another damn obstacle.
Yeah.
You've got to get people downstairs.
Yeah, yeah.
Have they got double locks on their doors?
Yeah.
A lot of people, older people, are fearful, so everything's locked. You'll never get in.
I know.
You have to bang down, crash them down, or hack them down, whatever
Yeah.
you've got to do. You've got all these obstacles you've got to overcome, but
Yeah.
you won't know that because you don't know every house.
What we do have is we've got services, and as part of our service is we can go to people's homes when requested. When asked. But that's why I thought if we can do more things like this, putting out things through social media and all that kind of thing to educate.
Good.
It keeps coming back to that, doesn't it?
I know even myself. I like to think I can do things, but I know there's some things I can't. And hopefully I could get out the door and get out of a fire. But hopefully you're not injured or you're on the ground. It's falling down that's your biggest problem. Then can you crawl out?
Yeah.
Or can you do you know how to get up? Do you know how to get up if you fall
Yeah.
down?
When we do home fire safety visits, not only do we check smoke alarms, but we also talk to the people about fire safety around their home. So including things like not overloading power boards. Do you have safe exits? Where are your exits? Where are your smoke alarms?
Fire safety in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Well, see, the things they cook on. See, a lot of people
Yeah.
cook indoors with things that shouldn't be
Yes.
indoors. The fundamental
Similar.
things in
Yeah.
life, I think you just got to start thinking, you're just not safe on your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people, their parents, like they'll come in and make sure they've had their meals, and then they check them tomorrow. But there's a long time when they're on their own. That's when things happen. They try to do for themselves,
Yeah.
and that's where you think you're cooking. You know, you just if they're trying to cook, God only knows what they think they're going to do because you think you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
They don't think that they can't
No,
do it, that they've got
I can understand that fully.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably do a few things I shouldn't do at times. I think, okay, that's not a good thing to do because if you got hurt, who's going to get you? Yeah, okay, right, won't do that again. But that takes a bit of getting to that
Yeah, of
stage.
course,
So
of course.
it's just aging is
Yeah.
a bit confronting at times.
Yeah.
But I think it's just letting people know we're all the same. That's where being with people of your own age group, sometimes you think, oh yeah, can you do that? No, I can't do that. Oh yeah, me either. What bugger? You know,
Yeah.
Okay, well we're all good now. We can't do it.
Normalising it.
Exactly.
Normalising,
Exactly.
yeah.
About evac plans, escape plans from home. How do you reckon that would go? Maybe not so much for the person that had dementia, because depending on the day, that's either going to work or it's not going to work. But a bit more awareness of that for the carers.
How to deal with it?
Yeah,
How to help them?
That's
How
one
to
of the
help them?
things we recommend, but should we be focusing on that for carers?
Oh, I think carers need a lot of focus. I do believe
Yeah.
carers need a lot more focus than they admit,
Yeah.
because they're often that fatigued. They don't know what's the matter with them.
Correct, yeah.
And also the physicality of moving or helping a person who may be unable to help themselves is very physically challenging,
Yeah.
and like that's the thing they can't often do. How would they help a person?
Yeah.
So
Little steps like that. And
a little plan, and if you could meet people, I mean, I don't know, but individually, if you could meet and greet and say, well, how would you be able to help that person?
Yeah. And then just, let them know that if they do need to ring 000 to mention that they've got
Exactly,
someone who's
exactly.
they're
Oh
caring
God,
for
yes.
who is
Yes.
less
yes.
than mobile.
Mobile, no.
Going to need help getting
And
around.
see, they may be mobile, but they may freeze on them.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's my fear with people who freeze on you, in that I've seen it. They become a weight, like you can't
We know all
do
about
anything.
that. Yeah.
And you can't push them because they'll fall.
Yeah.
If you had a walker or something, you could
Yeah.
put them in it and get them out, but they may not have that either.
Yeah. Occasionally we'll sit them in a chair and drag
Well, that's actually
drag
probably.
them backwards.
I was going to say you can put them on a blanket and drag them up the floor. That's what I'd be doing with them.
Yeah.
I think, but that's me thinking, I'd drag them up the floor in a blanket, but
Yeah.
you may not if you've got it. That
If
depends
they're
on the
not-
surface.
If they're not too tall and
Or large,
we can
yeah.
put them and
No.
just
Well,
drag
the
them
fireman's over the shoulder business.
Oh, I'd
Yeah.
probably snap them in half, but
I don't think you'd be getting my husband over the
It's,
shoulder. But anyway,
and
that's
it's
okay.
one of those things that's very case by
But
case.
yes.
Coming in as a fire person, as I said, if you can convince them that you're there to help them,
Yeah.
and that I do believe that's by your voice. Don't loud noises often. Noises are horrific with them, with their ears. Well, Leo's sensory things were very alert. He'd hear things that I wouldn't bother me, but everything was loud and don't make a noise. You bang that and crash something. For God's sake. Okay, that's okay.
My
I
husband
did
does
that
it
for my
now.
wife. She might have dementia. I don't know.
Well, everything's heightened. All
Yeah,
those
of
things are
course.
heightened.
Or I'm
Yeah.
noisy.
Yeah. So, that's it. But when you're not feeling great, anything.
Yeah.
So
gosh,
I
yeah.
warn you. So
Yeah.
if you were to walk into a building and yell out, they would get a fright. I do think they would retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you could assure them that there's a fire, there's smoke, see
Yeah.
can they smell and have they got all their senses? That's the other thing. You don't know whether they're seeing properly, hearing. You're not sure.
Yeah.
That's with anybody, I think, as we age.
Even elderly,
Yeah.
yeah.
They might have their hearing aids in or something. There's
Yeah,
lots of reasons.
we've actually got smoke alarms that vibrate under their pillows. So if they're hard of
Flashy
hearing,
strobes.
Yeah.
flashy strobes, and yeah.
Well, see, all these things you've got, it's making people aware that you have them.
Yes.
People have
Yeah.
no idea.
So if you had a deaf person in the home,
Yeah.
in your house, well, you should have something like that. But see, that's where people checking on their elderly neighbours.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate my neighbours. That's what I'm so grateful where we are, because it's a younger neighbourhood. But we've been blessed that I've got a young man, like his wife next door, and I've got one over the road. And I've made myself known. I'm like, they're. If I wanted help, I've got their phone numbers. You know, they'd be there.
Yeah.
Or Greg heard anyway, when Leo fell down outside anyway. He just jumped the fence. You just know you've got people that would come.
Not everyone has community around.
No,
you know.
no. And I've grown up in an area, I grew up in it. That's why I like
Yeah.
having people to say good day to their neighbours.
Yes.
Because so many people don't know their neighbours
Always
now.
talk to the
I think
neighbours,
that's so sad. I think also, like, that's the thing when people come to our country, they're not used to say. Actually, the lady I was just befriended, these two women that bring their grandchildren to the bus stop now because I'm walking one of them to the bus.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I've got these lovely ladies who are just in Australia now with their families, and they said, but we never said hello to people where we came from.
Yeah.
They said, everybody here says, I said, well, yeah, just say good day.
Yeah.
And that's now I'm
Yeah.
walking one down the hill.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
just because they're
It's
just
nice.
lonely and they're just at home looking after. They are very big on looking after their people and they're looking after the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably lonely actually.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the main key points. Education is
Education.
key. We can do that internally for our firefighters going to a job potentially with somebody with dementia. But in terms of putting out to the community that you can get more information from Dementia Australia, from My Aged Care, or for My Aged Care you should register.
You have to register.
Maybe, and once again, this is probably for more so with people with early stages that are still in the home. Have your smoke alarms, remove hazards,
Yes.
run through emergency procedure at home, use repetition, education again. We will put out there as well that you can have fire and rescue come and assess your home.
I think
we
that's
can
important.
run through
Knowing
all
that.
of those things.
Once again, that's knowledge.
Yeah, putting it out there.
And tell them it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they've got to pay, they won't do it. I
Of
tell you,
course,
that's
of
an
course,
obstacle. Money.
Of course, yes.
Particularly aged people, like say seniors.
Yeah.
You can. This is a service that we're providing for you.
100%, for free.
No,
Get
I do
some
believe awareness will help.
education and
You
awareness.
have. You're very
Yeah.
receptive to it. That's the thing. That's nice. You are receptive to listen to some suggestions. Little
Absolutely.
things matter. Little things
Absolutely.
matter.
Yeah.